matchup. It's the player matchup.
Absolutely.
It's how Dan knows what Craig does, and Craig knows what Dan does.
And it's always amazing when you see those type of players, much like the way Sanford and Toronto actually do that. These guys are going to demonstrate that right here, so it should be a really good show as we go onto the road, leading into the grand finals. Gridman versus AG LuckyD. Can't wait to see how this is going to turn out.
And I think it's interesting to see who's going to be rooting for who, because like we said, Dan is a hometown hero. Everybody loves Dan, but Craig is just such a skilled and gifted player.
Yeah, really good, really nice guy.
He's got a lot of fans.
Definitely does. Very good tools, very proficient with his character. That's why he's here, and he's definitely willing to see what he can do against LuckyD. And right now, he takes round one.
Yeah, Dan's going to need to. I think the adaptation he's going to need to make is he knows a lot of the burn kick setups, and he's going to need to be able to do something with that. He's going to need to be able to say, okay, I need to know how to block these.
Most importantly, he needs to avoid getting stunned with all the series of mix-ups that Viper's able to do. You know, we talked about border season earlier, and definitely Viper is just right now, he's like, look, I don't care, I'm going to get in, I'm going to get the damage, and I'm going to take off health.
Great setup from LuckyD.
Absolutely.
Hits with the EX Fireball, crosses up on teleport, but he's got to keep this going.
Definitely does. I mean, not really much help to work with, and that
one combo will do it. And Gridman takes the first match. And let's see if Dan can adapt. Let's see if he can change his approach, and if he can be more prepared for what Gridman is bringing to the table.
Yes.
Again, those burn kicks,
you know,
it's so hard to block. It is so, it's a matter of pixels, really. You know, it's not just
hitboxes.
Oh, why don't you block that?
Yeah.
You have to really figure out from the time of the jump. That's when you need to decide which side you're going to block, because that's when the decision is made for you.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. So, you know, compliments all the players that are proficient in the game, being able to confidently be able to block those. But much like Brandon says, it comes down to mere pixels. It's not as easy as it looks.
Absolutely. It can be extremely frustrating when someone in the audience is heckling and saying, oh, you just got to block that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you block?
Yeah.
Why don't you cut that throw?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's really easy to say when you're watching a match take place. It's a completely different story if you are the one sitting behind the fight stick and you are the one who needs to decide when and where to block, when and where to push your counterattack, when to focus.
Right.
All these things that are just split-second decision-making is key.
Yep. And obviously, Lucky had to go through a small fraction of Viper players, which I know actually came out. But those Viper players are not the same as Gridman's, and so it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to come on top, because actually right now he is getting the mix-up into play.
It's an overhead. That is such, and again, as much as we can say about how hard it is to block flame kick setup, burn kick setup, it's just as hard to block
everything else.
Well, also Yoga Catastrophe setups.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he gets that big fireball and it's sitting right on you, he can jump and hit you with an instant overhead. He can hit you with a slide kick. He can throw a fireball and teleport to the other side to, mess up your block. There are so many options that Dawson has off of that ultra.
Yep. LuckyD breaking into the Book of India mix-ups, letting them know that, you know what, I still have a series of game plans. Let's see if you can basically top what I have in store for you.
And Dan does take the match. I think he got the sweep there, and he is ready with an ultra. We're going to see probably another setup if he manages to get a knockdown.
It was interesting he actually did that. Unfortunately, Gridman was not in air in order to get caught out by that attack. LuckyD unfazed by that, using his Yoga Tower, hoping to actually get into some offensive pressure while avoiding series pressures that Viper's doing right now. So we got feints.
Size moves. Oh, wow. Dan with a nice dash there to get away from the focus.
Nice block against Flame Kick there.
It's coming all these matches.
And it's down to the wire. I don't know if he's going to land on that.
I'm not sure what Dan was going for. Gridman takes the round, and
unfortunately it cost him the match.
Away from going to losers finals. Or, I'm sorry, losers semifinals.
Yes.
Dan getting knocked down by the burn kick, but blocking the second. Manages to teleport away. He's going to want to keep that space out.
Yeah, definitely wants to be able to stay quite outside of his range. Viper definitely wants to be in a much sweeter position. LuckyD, of course, does not want him there.
Wow, barely tags him on the ankle with the drill kick. I believe it's called Yoga Drill.
It is called Yoga Drill. That would be correct.
Also the Yoga Mummy.
Yes.
which I'm a bigger fan of, but it's actually a terrible move, so nobody uses it, and that's okay. And Lucky D here needs to get something going, and quick. Does not get the block on the burn kick, and there's another one, and that'll do it for Lucky D.
So Lucky basically is now getting sent to losers.
No, that was losers.
That was losers.
Lucky D is now eliminated.